All right, so an interesting week because really didn't have any major issues come up with agents to talk to you guys about, which is good.
I'm knocking on wood for you.
But I did want to continue my conversation with you about the changes going on in real estate, which are primarily about conversations. Just last night, I was playing tennis with a group of friends. One of the guys who's joined the group, he and his wife just moved here. He happens to be a Remax broker from Chicago,
Okay.
who's now, they're down here half the year. We're sitting after playing, and he's going, "So what are you seeing about what's going on with the changes from NAR?" And I was able to go, "Well, what's going on in Chicago?" Interesting conversation. My answer to him was, when he asked me, "What do I see changing?" It was basically nothing other than the conversations that we have to have with people. Your life is going to go on. You're working with sellers, you're working with buyers, you're still going to get paid. It's a matter of how you relay the information to the parties in the conversation. So yesterday, there was an article that came out that I had copied. And it's about conversations that you should have with sellers as to why the buyer should have representation. And I love the line that unrepresented buyers should be considered more than a minor hiccup. They can actually lead to a cascade of complications that could jeopardize the entire deal. To safeguard your investment and ensure a smooth transaction, it's crucial to recognize the invaluable support a buyer's agent provides. Okay? Interesting conversation to have with sellers, as well as showing what your value proposition is to the buyers. And then it's listing maybe a dozen different points. Is that lender connections? Buyers' agents connect their buyers with well-vetted, hopefully, lender partners who have proven time and again that they can close a transaction on time. So you're working with a seller, buyer has no representation. Where do you think the buyer is going to for their mortgage? Rocket, you got it. They're going and they're dealing online with somebody that they have no idea who it is or nor really has any interest in what happens with this transaction.
And chances are that rocket will have a failure to launch.
Okay. Documentation management. Buyer's agents ensure that buyers have delivered all necessary documentation to the lender to ensure full underwriting. Market analysis. Buyer's agents provide CMAs to buyers to help them understand the market value of the home and support a reasonable offered price. Contract guidance. Just one of the big ones. Buyer's agents guide their clients through the purchase and sale agreement, helping them understand all of the legal aspects of what is required of them. Contingency explanations, earnest money handling, transaction deadlines, inspection access, appraisal assistance, negotiation support, transaction coordination, and all of those are backed up by the explanations of what goes behind them. Whole lot more than opening doors and writing a contract for somebody, isn't it? Yep. As professional realtors, this is what we're responsible for every day in working with our buyers. Do your sellers understand what a realtor does for the buyer who's going to be making an offer on their property and the integral job that that agent does in moving the transaction forward and getting it to the closing table?
And by the way,
Well, hopefully, Mike. And that's one of the issues that, as an industry, we've had over the years that has somewhat gotten us into the situation we are.
Yep.
Is that there are too many agents out there who don't do any of this stuff.
and by the way, what Richard just talked about could be great content for you to go and make short little videos about, like we talked about yesterday, to talk about the value of a buyer's agent when you're when you're listing your home.
This
Yeah.
is, do you know? Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. As there's people we've worked with for years, bought and sold homes to, and you ask them, so what did your realtor do for you? Most of them can't answer. You know, they brought the buyer to the house. You know, they wrote the contract for me. They have no idea of the hundreds of things that go on behind the scenes that you all do. We need to be the ones who are getting that message out to the general public so that they understand what we make the big bucks for. Because at the end of the day, at the closing table, they see on the HUD right there how much money you're making. And they're going, what did you do for that? It happened, right? Yeah. Are you letting them know what you did for it?